All right, so today in class we talked about solving equations using the guess and check method. So first we need to talk about what it means to solve an equation. Well, solving an equation, in any equation we should have at least one unknown. And that unknown is going to be represented by a letter of the alphabet. We call that a variable. So when we solve an equation, that means that we're actually finding the value of that variable. So for simple cases, and if you're kind of in a jam and you don't know, I can't remember the algebraic methods to solve an equation, you can always use the guess and check method. And in order to do that, you have to first make what we call a reasonable estimate. So that means making a decent guess, right? So that's really important. So for instance, if you were to guess, say for instance the price of a washing machine, it would not be reasonable to guess something like $2, nor would it be reasonable to guess something like $1 million. A more reasonable estimate would be probably somewhere between $500 and $1,500, depending on the quality and the features that that washing machine has. So let's say, for example, you are faced with a problem like the one that we're seeing here, 2x plus 3 equals 13. So if we're going to solve this using the guess and check method, then the first thing we need to do is we need to look at the equation and make a reasonable guess. So I've started off here with a fairly simple example where you can probably take a look at it and reason about what the value for x is. By looking at, well, what number can I put in for x that will allow the left side of this equation equal the right side. So that's the first thing that I need to do. And so today in class, most of us reasoned that guessing 5 was probably good. Now, I chose a simple example to start with so that we get used to the idea. And so normally what you would do is you would first make a good guess, then you would try out your estimate into the equation to see if it in fact works. And then evaluate to check to see that the left side of the equation actually does equal the right side when we use the estimate that was chosen. Okay, so again, we're going to look at that x equals 5. So I'm going to take our original equation and I'm going to plug in or substitute the value, our estimate, wherever the variable is seen in that equation. And I'm going to evaluate that. So 2 times 5 equals 10. And then we still have this plus 3 here. And adding those together on the left side will give us 13. And that matches the 13 that we have on the right side. So we can say that our left side equals our right side. So the left side of the equation equals the right side. Now, just as an example, what I want to do is I want to go through an example where you've made a bad estimate. Now, it's unlikely in this simple case that you would have made a bad estimate, but I'm going to go through it anyway. For some examples where the numbers are larger, you might have to, do a couple of different tries at it before you get a value that makes sense. So what we did, by the way, was checking. The guessing part was making a reasonable estimate, and the checking part was the subbing in the value and making sure our left side equals our right side. So let's just say that I had estimated x equals 4. Okay, I thought that that would be reasonable for the value of x. I would go ahead and sub it in, and I would evaluate through. And at the end of it, what I would see is that the left side of the equation does not match the right side. So I've included a does not equal symbol here. And so I can't say that the left side equals the right side. And what that tells me is that 4 was not big enough. What I substituted in for x was not a large enough value because my left side is smaller than my right side. So I need to choose a larger value. So it tells me my value is wrong, and I need to try a value that better matches the equation. And so in class today, we tried a bunch of different equations and tried to solve them using guess and check method. I'm going to run through these slowly, but I won't be addressing them. These are for you to try on your own. And at the very end of this video, what you will see is you will see some suggested practice questions from our new blue booklet. If you're looking at this from home because you've missed class, then what you should do is you should go into the PDF version attached to Classroom, and you should be able to find the booklet there and try some of the questions. So as you work through these problems, what you should do is make sure that you're guessing and checking appropriately, and that you're showing all of your work. If you need to pause the video as you work through questions to try them out, and then check with me tomorrow, then that works great. This is the end of our video. Hope this worked out. If not, please see me at lunch for some extra questions or extra help if you need it.